So today I'm going to be starting a new series, and it's going to be a self-tanner kind of reviewing series. So I'm just going to be finding different self-tanners that I've heard about, and then I'm going to test them out and tell you the good, the bad, and my first impressions on them. A, when I put them on, and B, when, like, just any first impression that I had. Alrighty, I just have to get it up on my phone because I wrote a whole bunch of stuff on it. So my first thoughts with the Tarte, this was the first self-tanner that I ever tried, was kind of like, oh my gosh, like I'm kind of scared. I've gotten spray tans before, and I love them, which kind of like made me want to go and buy some self-tanners. So this was the first one I went to because I am very naturally I'm probably as white as this. Like, I'm not joking, it's pretty bad. So I wanted to pick something that wasn't gonna make it really dramatic and something that couldn't really go wrong. So I YouTubed a whole bunch of things, probably like you watching this video because I didn't know anything, and I came to the conclusion that this was the best one. So I went on to Tarte because it was a little bit cheaper than Sephora, and I was thinking, oh, like just like Sephora, Tarte will probably ship pretty fast. And I was waiting 2 or 3 weeks for this, and I just honestly couldn't wait anymore. I was too excited. So I just went into Sephora and I bought it. I spent a little bit, I think it was like $5 difference on it, and then I started using that bottle. So basically I have 2 bottles of this, and I've already gone through it in like 2 months. So that's almost a bottle a month, which at $50 a bottle, like that's in Canadian anyway, is pricey, but it's not the worst that could possibly happen. So that was kind of like my first deal with this. Was kind of iffy, like it didn't really go over as well as I wanted to, but that's okay. I also like didn't really have a lot of first impressions on this because I kind of like was new to it, so I didn't really like know what it was supposed to smell like. I didn't know what the texture was supposed to be like and all that. So yeah, I didn't really have many first impressions for this. I do remember though that I was like, whoa, this smells really good, and this is a weird texture, because it is a kind of like a creamy texture. So I was kind of like, some of the good things about this tanner is that it literally smells like Cinnabons when you put it on. Like, I couldn't figure out what the smell was. I was like, you know what, this smells so good, but like I don't know what it smells like. And then I like kind of was sitting on my bed the one day and I kind of like smelt it. Like, you know how you ever get like a whiff of yourself kind of thing? And it smelled like a Cinnabon, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm literally putting Cinnabon on my body right now. Like, this smells delicious. But also when you're putting it on your skin, it's like brown. You see where you're putting the tanner, which is really helpful. I feel like a hair. Which is really helpful when you're like new and you don't really know where the tanner's going, just to make sure you get all the spots. I really loved how they incorporated an instant bronzing into it so that you can see where the tanner's going and you can see kind of how dark it's getting quicker than you would if it didn't have it. Another thing is that I could instantly just go outside. Like, I had to like wait a little bit for it to dry, obviously, but I would go about my day. I never did this at night. I always did it in the morning, and then I went about my day. I always smelled like Cinnabons for the longest time, and it really wasn't until like the 6 to 8 hour mark where I actually started to smell the self-tanner and was like, this is kind of gross. But honestly, they hid the smell of self-tanner so well in this product. You can use it on your face, which is another good thing. I did it. I did find though, after like a day or two after washing my face, it kind of came off. So I had to redo it quite often. But again, like, this would be a really good starter if you're just getting into self-tanning. So now on to the bad things about this tanner. There are there's a little bit more bad things than there are good about this. In my opinion anyway. Your opinion might be different, but just in my opinion. I did notice that the first time that I applied this, I did everything that I was like supposed to, or even, it wasn't even just the first time, but anytime I went like totally like back to my natural skin and then I applied it, I found that when like I washed it off, it was very splotchy, and that wasn't even like, I don't think it was because I was doing like something like wrong in the sense, because I would honestly just stand up the whole entire time like in my underwear and like maybe even like a bandeau or something like that when I applied it, so I wasn't even touching anything, like, and I would wait like 2 or 3 hours and then I would put clothes on almost. Like, it was weird. Like, it was a very weird, because it took forever to dry, which is another bad thing. I just found that, like, it didn't absorb into my skin the best that it could, and I exfoliated, like I followed the instructions, and I moisturized in the spots I was supposed to, and I found it just didn't really stay. I had to apply this again after only like a day or two, because it got, like, it faded and it got really splotchy, but once you start to have like that base to it, it worked perfectly. For me, as I got comfortable with the self-tanning process and how I looked when I was tan, I started to notice that I really only liked the color of, like, the bronzy kind of color. So basically the day that I put it on, I only liked that color, and I didn't like the color that I faded to. So I found myself also using the tanner more so that I could get darker. So that's kind of what inspired me to try something a little bit different and try something darker, because I just wasn't happy with the overall appearance of this tanner. So overall, I would definitely give this tanner like a 7 out of 10. It's very, very, very good for beginners. I will say that, like, 100%. Like, if you are just trying out and you're pale and you just want something that'll give you a nice little glow, then this is definitely for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and also comment down below if you have any requests for different videos or even just different self-tanners that you think I should give a go. I would be happy to look into them for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.